Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. On this channel I talk about fragrance, skincare, fashion, and the finer things in life. And today we are talking about Tom Ford fragrances. 2 weeks ago in my video I mentioned fragrance brands that I think deserve the money, deserve the asking price. And in that video we mentioned Tom Ford. So today I told myself, why don't I make a video about Tom Ford fragrances? And today actually I have 10 of them, and many of them belong to that higher segment line where we have the more expensive Tom Fords like Lost Cherry, Fucking Fabulous, Rose Sprig, Soleil Brûlant, Lavender Extreme. And in addition to that, I have the three most recent rose fragrances from Tom Ford, namely Rose de Russie, Rose de Chine, and Rose d'Amalfi. So all in all, we have a lot going on, a lot of Tom Ford going on in this video. So if you have any questions about Tom Ford, about his recent releases, you go on Sephora's website and the prices are crazy, like $375. You're like, 20% off? Okay, Sephora is running 20% off. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Well, I got you covered. Stay tuned. So what are you going to do? Go grab a drink if you're feeling a little thirsty. So I'm going to tell you right now, it is 12:32 p.m. here in San Francisco. It's a Saturday here, May the 7th. I just had my breakfast and I shot the Turkish version of this video, and right now I'm filming the English version with you. Thank you so much for joining. And I have my tea here that I brewed early in the morning. It's cold, so now I have a little straw here. Let me take a sip while we're at it. And Ruth, I think she must be rolling in her grave right now. Have you seen the news this week? The abortion thing? Oh my God, isn't that so upsetting? I'm a feminist. I'm just gonna say one thing only. If men could get abortions, they would be available right around the corner at the gas station. So, okay, I'm not gonna start on this whole thing. It is so hard to fathom. You cannot really ban abortion. You can only ban legal abortion. People will get abortions. Rich people will get abortions. It is so messed up. It is so fucked up. I just don't want to get worked up about this. So let's take a sip and let's talk about fragrances. And if you're feeling a little hungry after all this, go grab a snack, come find me here, and Tom Ford, 10 fragrances, private line. Let's start our conversation. All right, yes. So Tom Ford fragrances, I told you, when I think about American perfumery, the only name I could think of is Tom Ford. He has excellent fragrances in his portfolio. Two of them, they have been actually featured in my channel very frequently. My favorite Tom Ford of all time is Santal Blush, and my newfound love is Tuberose Nu. It has a video of its own in the channel right now, and back then, I mean, I liked it, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to spend that much money, but I kept my bottle and it has grown on me so significantly. Now I'm all for it, and I featured that Tuberose Nu in my Tuberose fragrances video as well. It's here to stay. You know what? If my favorite Tom Ford is Santal Blush, maybe the second favorite is Tuberose Nu at this point. But right now, since they have been talked about in the channel before, we're not really focusing on those two. We have newcomers here that we are going to discuss today. And Ébène Fumé, the first three is gonna be Ébène Fumé, Lavender Extreme, and Bitter Peach. So I'm just gonna go through them real quickly. I'm gonna walk you through the sequence of Ébène Fumé, Lavender Extreme, and Bitter Peach really quickly, because actually I have a video on the channel where I talked about Bitter Peach and my thoughts, my feelings. They have not changed. They are still valid, but I'm just gonna talk about something regarding the name that I really dug deep and then got the reference or whatever. So we'll get that. So the first one we are talking about today is actually one of the most recent releases. The photo is on the screen right now, here or here, and it is called Ébène Fumé. It is a woody, smoky woody fragrance by Tom Ford. It is very smoky. It is very woody fragrance, and there is that synthetic oud vibe going on in this fragrance as well. It is, I think, retailing around like 270 280 right now. um it's not something I would pay money. It's not something I would wear. I don't think this is a feminine fragrance per se, but anyone can wear anything they want. The problem with this is that, I like heady woodsy fragrances. I like that intoxicating, addictive, woody base notes, like, for example, Amouage Crimson Rocks. Here with that, okay, I'm getting the wood, I'm getting the smoky feeling, but it never really blossoms on my skin. It never gets like, sensual. And at that point, that kind of like a little loses me, that misses the mark for me, because it kind of like jumps into the territory of like, room refreshener, mall kind of, uh food court smell a little. Maybe I don't want to say that because it's not an ugly fragrance at all. I think it would live a beautiful life on a male, masculine body figure. But again, I'm not going to be really feeling okay recommending this fragrance. It is a Tom Ford release. It has a basic basal level of quality to it. The bottle is nice. You have seen the bottle on the screen, or maybe you are seeing it. And it is a woody fragrance. It is nice, but to me, let's just put it this way, it is insignificant. All right, the next one I'm going to be talking about today is a fragrance that was discontinued. I believe Lavender Extreme bottle, like the shiny, glossy silver bottle on the screen right now, so alluring, and you just want to like go have that, like purchase that bottle. Well, I did not. I have the decant, and I actually have been chasing after a decant of this Lavender Extreme for a long time, but I wasn't able to. I don't know what, maybe I wasn't really like, doing my best to find it, but now I have it, and I just wanted to include it in this video to give you a, rundown of the fragrance. Let's just give it a spray here on my hand. Oh my god, so much lavender. Think about, handmade French lavender soap. All right. Think about, essential oil, lavender essential oil that get a little droplet in a piece of like sponge, and then put it in your humidifier, and the room gets that, lavender vibe. It's very herbaceous. But one thing they did in this fragrance is that there is a like buckload of vanillin, like vanilla sugar in this fragrance. When you spray this, that lavender aromatic fougere vibe will be there, but deep down it is kind of like, pushed forward by that sugary vanilla, and you feel it, and you start to feel it more and more as this fragrance lives on your skin. After like an hour, this becomes like really sugary actually, and I was like, okay, so this is a fragrance that I like. Actually, I talked about that fragrance in my video where I talked about vanilla fragrances. Juicy Couture, Gold Couture, I like that. I don't care, but get juice, like, imagine Juicy Couture, Gold Couture, or if you have it, just spray it. Take that and like, drown it in, like, cover it with lavender. Everywhere lavender and Juicy Couture, like sugar, lavender, vanilla. It that kind of vibe. So when we think about vanilla, when we think about lavender, that the thing that comes to our minds is Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum. And to be honest, I prefer Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum over this. It is like, vanilla, kind of like sugary lavender. You know what? This is not mentioned very often, but I'm gonna say this once again. If you are a guy watching this channel, and if you try Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum on your skin, I think you might be onto something. I think that fragrance shines beautifully on male skin, Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum. And instead of Lavender Extreme from Tom Ford, that would be a better choice. And another fragrance actually that I would like to talk about, mention when we are talking about Lavender Extreme, is actually another like milky, sugary vanilla lavender fragrance, and that is of course Maison Lancôme Lavande Trianon. I have the bottle here. Actually, this is a discontinued fragrance, but it is around still, you know. It's somewhere in Canada. You can ship it to United States. If you put your mind to it, I think you can still get this fragrance. I love this a lot. So this, people regard this as the richer, kind of like more cozy but also sophisticated sister of Montguerlain. There isn't that powdery vibe that we have in Montguerlain in this fragrance. I love this. I love Montguerlain Eau de Parfum too. I think the point where Montguerlain Eau de Parfum fails is the performance. It is so fleeting. This, on the other hand, is not, and this becomes a really like cozy, comforting, kind of like addictive skin scent as well as this dries down. And where are we here? Again with Lancome is because of Lavender Extreme. Nix that, we don't need that, and he discontinued that. Apparently no one needed it, because if you want, oh my god, if you I knocked them over. If you want some sort of like, you know, sugary vanilla, lavender, herbaceous, not aquatic, aromatic fougere vibes, just go with like, you know, gourmand, Lavande Trianon, Montguerlain Eau de Parfum. Alright, so the next one I'm going to talk about is Bitter Peach. Yes, and I still say that this smells like a plastic sugar baby combined with or wearing Angel. Thierry Mugler Angel. And if you want like longer version of my descriptions regarding Bitter Peach, he or Bitter Peach, she or he, it has its own video on the channel. I might be linking it down in the description box or in the card section or whatever. But today, I ordered another decan. I paid a lot of money for this decan because I just wanted to remind myself of Bitter Peach. And I just wanted to see, you know, if my feelings or thoughts have changed or if they remained the same. They are the same. Let's spray this. Let me just spray this here like this. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, any peach note or accord or whatever that we smell, it could be Roses Britannia or it could be Tom Ford Bitter Peach, whatever, it is synthetic. But when it comes to synthetic peach notes, I think now I'm starting to think that this is not the worst synthetic peach note, and I'm kind of like, I've played around a lot with Roses peachy fragrances lately, and I think this kind of like competes with them, if you ask me, because the peachiness I get from this is actually comparable to the peachiness I get from Roses Britannia, which is a very well-made fragrance. Well, this is what I think right now, but overall this is a synthetic fruit patchouli fragrance. This is a plastic sugar doll baby wearing Angel Muse. The bottle, the orange bottle, is amazing. It is just like, you know, you look at it and then it's like a double take. It's so cool and you want to have it, but don't. I don't think this fragrance is worth $350 or $375 at all. But today I'm gonna be talking about this name. Okay, Tom Ford has been releasing fragrances that with names that are so sexually charged, which is great. Tom Ford, this is his brand. I mean, fucking fabulous. And I think that fucking fabulous, it might be the most innocuous of the ones, because we have Rose Prick, we have Lost Cherry, and we have Bitter Peach. And I dug deep and I was like, what is this really referring to? Okay, I know peach, alright, you know, but, as, whatever, the smiley. But the bitter, what do you mean by that? So, I think I've been to Urban Dictionary, I've been to other sites like, you know, gay culture references. So we imagine, like, you know, but that is like, you know, ripe. Okay, that is musty, that is sweaty, but also that, you know, there is that sweet undertone, that is that, you know, kind of like sweetness that comes with that ripeness in your butt, in your anus, toward the end of the day or at the end of a workout. So imagine that situation, and imagine someone eating your, or like giving you a rim job. You know what? This is referring to that, and I'm 100% sure. So, if you want, or if I want to, why not? You know, you might be eating someone's bitter peach, and I guess this is what we're gonna be eating. Tom Ford bitter peach. It's like a musky, kind of like sweet, sweaty, but at the same time, there's also like the sharpness, bitterness that comes from the peach too, and also it's fuzzy as well. So, whatever. This is what bitter peach, and I think this is what Tom Ford is alluding to or referring to. So, have you ever eaten a bitter peach? I guess another version of asking this question is that, have you ever given someone a rim job with a ripe butt? Whatever. All right, so the next one we are talking about is Soleil Brûlant. Soleil Brûlant, amazing gold, shiny, glossy bottle. And look at this travel size. Oh my god, Tom Ford knocked it out of the park. So the fragrance is here, and it goes in like so, and the cap is magnetic. Whoa! For a travel size magnetic cap, wow, this is giving me in life in abundance. But the fragrance per se, not so much. So this is a neroli honey fragrance. It's very resinous actually, as this one dries down. This, you know what, I've checked this, you know, on Fragrantica while I was filming the Turkish version of this video. This reminds me of very badly one of the Kilian's, Sweet Redemption. So I owned Sweet Redemption, and I sold. The reason I owned Kilian's Sweet Redemption was that Fragrantica likens Sweet Redemption to Love, Kilian. Love, Don't Be Shy, which I love. So I wanted to try and, you know, see for myself if they really, like, you know, were in parallel or they go hand in hand. No, Sweet Redemption is a very ambery, very, like, you know, dusty orange blossom fragrance that is not a lot of sweetness to it. In a sense, you know, I think Kilian Sweet Redemption and Sintra, they are kind of like similar to each other, and you know, compared to Love, I don't like Sintra. Well, that I digress. Whatever. I'm getting a lot of Kilian Sweet Redemption from this fragrance. There is also neroli here, but when I look at Fragrantica, it says like orange blossom, but there is that super sharpness that hits my nose. But I think that is explained by the fact that there is a pink pepper top note. So I tried this fragrance when it first came out. When I was in Pittsburgh, I tried it in Nordstrom and I didn't like it. And I still, you know, I have the travel size bottle because, you know, this summer I'll be playing with Tom Ford fragrances, and I'm just gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna go easy. I'm just gonna spray and go. And these travel sizes are just for that, and it's great. Let's do an experiment. Okay, whenever we go to a beach that is like hot, that is like, you know, really scorching hot, maybe let's try out these fragrance, you know, still protecting ourselves from the sun rays, and see if this is really a blazing sun or soleil brûlant that is like burning us up and then giving us the beautiful sillage on the beach. Because when I spray this, I'm not getting I'm not getting that. It's like there is like the very sharp freshness to it. I don't know. It's a honey fragrance too, but it's not like, you know, dripping honey like Scandal. You know what? Have you tried Soleil Brûlant by Tom Ford? If you have, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. I want to know, because this is very expensive too, and I'm not going to recommend anyone to buy this fragrance. Okay, so the next, okay, since the caps are magnetic, when you, like, you know, get them too close to each other, they kind of like kiss, you know. Okay, the one I'm holding right now is Tom Ford fucking Fabulous. And this is a leather fragrance. This is a leather, kind of like a dusty, sweet leather fragrance. I think this is unique. I think the name is great. Are you fucking fabulous? But I think the marketing did not serve or did not do justice to this fragrance because of the name. Because we thought that, this fragrance is something that is not worthwhile. But it is a fragrance actually that gets compliments, that garners compliments. I was riding in an Uber car, and then the Uber like driver complimented me when I wore this, a couple of times around the city. I got compliments, but the reason I think that we are getting compliments with fucking fabulous is that the scent profile is different. It's leathery, but it's not like a leather that you cannot really handle, because there's also synthetic, dusty, powdery, vanillic feeling to this fragrance. And I think it is that portion of that fragrance that makes it really, get the compliments, because when it hits someone else's nose, it kind of like, evokes like, oh, this is different. This is refreshing. I guess this is what makes this fabulous in a sense. I think this is unisex, but leaning more toward masculine. In my opinion, if you are a guy out there, if you are into Tom Ford fragrances, please give this a try. Fucking fabulous. Then again, I will not recommend this. This is a very expensive fragrance, but I don't think we can say that this is completely trash, because it's not. It is a nice leather fragrance, and the leather here is not like the leather in his previous fragrances, like ombre leather. It's not like, leather, leather, leather. Here's your jacket. Here's your second jacket. Kind of like you're not drowning in. There is a side to this fragrance that makes it sexy, that makes it more approachable, but at the same time, you're still like keeping that. Uh, I don't know. Keep it. This is nice. This, you know what? Since this is really hard to explain, I'm gonna say that, this is a unique fragrance one more time, but I don't think I'm gonna recommend this. All right. So the next one I'm gonna be talking about today is Lost Cherry, another sexually charged. Wow. Fragrance name, Pop Your Cherry. You all know it's all about losing virginity with Tom Ford, because there's another one, Rose Prick, Bleeding. Well, it's not that, every rose comes with thorns. No, Tom Ford, we know that where you're going with Rose Prick. One thing with Tom Ford Lost Cherry, I think the opening is fantastic. I love the opening of this fragrance. Let me spray this here. If the opening lasted 2 hours, I would have purchased the bottle. But this fragrance is like House of Cards. It collapses so very quickly. The opening dissipates, and then all you're left with is some sort of like tonka on your skin that is not really there, that is not giving me the sillage I want. So, it has been mentioned that the Bodysia, the Victoria's, that brand, has a Selfridges exclusive bottle called Bodacious. And they say the Bodacious is a clone of Tom Ford Lost Cherry with better sillage, better longevity, and better like projection, room filling capabilities. So if that is like so, I think we might be on something with Bodysia the Victoria's Bodacious. Then, if you tried Bodacious, please let me know, because it is a Selfridge exclusive. There are no decants to be found anywhere. I just like go to London and then try in Selfridges, which I've never been to London, by the way. I don't know why I've never been attracted to London, but everyone, all my friends or whoever I meet who has been to London says that I would fall in love with London. And another question is that I guess I should go to London. What would you say if you're watching me from Britain? Thank you so much for doing that, by the way. Let me know. And then, how are you enjoying London? Where in England you're from? I want to know. So, because I'm I've traveled a lot in my life. I'm originally from Turkey, and my first 24 years of life were spent in Turkey. Then I went to Germany to do my master's degree, and then I stayed in Heidelberg, close to Mannheim and Frankfurt, and I did my master's in cancer biology there. And I love Germany. I'm such a sucker for Germany. And after that, I went to France to do a PhD. I went to an institute in Strasbourg, but I stayed there only for 1 year because I quit that PhD because I came to the States in 2013 in Pittsburgh, and I lived in Pittsburgh, for 8 years. Then, in 2022, I moved to San Francisco to get this job at a biotech company. Well, whatever. I am all about traveling. I'm a citizen of the world, and I want to know, where are you from watching my channel? Please leave a comment. And back to Lost Cherry. The opening is fantastic. I think it would smell beautiful on a man or on a woman. I like the gourmand aspects to it. Cherries and almonds, they are not my favorite notes or accords per se in perfumery, but I mean, Tom Ford Lost Cherry opening is great. I just have to, give it to Tom Ford. And I've been using this a lot, and I'm gonna use this. It's just that the opening is so alluring. And if Bodacious the Victorious, Bodacious, is Tom Ford Lost Cherry, but not like House of Cards version that it does not collapse and it lasts, we might be liking that a lot actually. Alright, so, wow. We have talked about 6 fragrances. We are already 26 minutes in this video, so I'm gonna be a little, speeding things up. 3 recent rose fragrances that Tom Ford came out this year or like late last year. I don't know. I think this year. This year, definitely. Well, I don't know. Rose de Russie, Rose Chine, and Rose d'Amalfi. And I have decants from all 3 of them. And I'm gonna rank them from my least favorite to my most favorite. My least favorite is gonna be here on this kind of like blotter sponge here. And it is, Rose de Russie. So if you see the bottle, that pinky vibe, that pink, the color is great, but I don't like this fragrance at all. Wow, the rose is, tortured by leather. This smells so much like Nishane's Sham. Nishane has that, very expensive line, and they came up with Nefs, and then, then they released Sham. I tried that. I used the decant, like 2 ml, 3 ml. This is, to me, identical, but worse than Nishani Sham. I'm not here for this. I don't think this is a good fragrance. I don't think this is well thought out. The leather is dominating everything, but in a, like, not BDSM manner, not in a sexy way. It's just that there, and it's just like blop, leather, leather, leather. I don't like this. The rose disappears. The performance is not bad actually. Looking at these 3 rose fragrances, performance is between 4 to 6 hours, which means it's not a deal breaker. That makes me think that, when there is a synthetic rose accord in a fragrance, that fragrance tends to last long. Like, tends to have a better longevity. Looking at Delina exclusive, and thinking about other rose fragrances like Flora Botanica or like you name it, they have good longevity. They have good sillage and performance. And like, what is the common denominator when I look at those fragrances is that there's some sort of like a natural or like synthetic rose or rose accord or geranium, whatever. So just putting it out there. Back to Rose de Russie, definitely the loser of these 3. Definitely the weakest link. I would not recommend it. Leather is overpowering. It is not good. Alright, the other 2 actually, they smell really, really nice, and I think Tom Ford did a beautiful job with Rose de Chine and Rose d'Amalfi. Right now I'm going to talk about Rose de Chine. This is a nice rose flower fragrance. Think about shampoo, very expensive shampoo vibes, and you're like, all the bubble bath, shampooing, cleaning yourself in a really hot bathroom, and you also are adding kind of like the rosy feeling to it. That's what I'm getting from this. Expensive soap, shampoo vibes, rose, aroma is there, and I think it is supported by, is it? I think there is the kind of like oriental ambery touch to this fragrance as well. At the bottom of the fragrance, there is warmth to it, but there's also that shampoo vibe, very expensive shampoo vibe going on too. At first, I did like this, but as I tried Rose d'Amalfi more and more, I I I actually love this fragrance right now. So, and I was like, maybe a Rose de Chine, not so much. It is nice, if you like Rose de Chine out of these three, you can buy it. The opening is fantastic too here. The opening is giving me the best. Like creme de la creme, most expensive, like spa shampoo vibe. Oh, so good. But wait for it. Wait for it. Rose d'Amalfi is the one to go with here. Wow. First of all, it is a fruity floral fragrance, and let's take a moment of silence for fruity floral fragrances and my love for them. And this is no exception, because this is fruity floral, but at the same time, this is also gourmandish fragrance. Whoo! You know what I did? I sprayed a lot. So this week, I think I went to Soul Cycle here in the Castro in San Francisco. When was it? It was Thursday. And then I sprayed this. I sprayed this. I know, I'm so bad. And during the class, the way I smelled to my nose, I was like, oh my god, I smell so good. I don't know what the other people thought riding their bikes next to me, but hey, Soul Cycle like promotes community, whatever. So there you go. Here's your community scent. Rose d'Amalfi by Tom Ford. Well, I didn't get compliments or anything, but maybe people were upset with me because it was too overpowering. But this is a pretty floral fragrance. If you like Delina Exclusive, but if you like Delina Exclusive a little, fresher. If you like Lancôme Parfait de Rose, if you like Van Cleef Arpels Rose Rouge, you are definitely gonna love this fragrance. Wow. That there in that opening, there's that, kind of like Amouage Rose Encens freshness, metallic vibe to it. But wait for it. This takes its course to a more gourmand world, because there's that almondy, heliotrope vibe that we actually encounter a lot in rose fragrances. It's here too, and I kind of, that kind of explains my love for this fragrance. I love this. This is great. It is not the most unique or groundbreaking rose fragrance that we have seen, but I think it's beautiful. I mean, if you ask me, okay, let's talk about rose sprig, and then let's just give a little wrap up of these four rose fragrances. All right. So Rose d'Amalfi, nice one, fresh opening. Then comes the rose, and then it's also like supported by almondy, powdery, gourmand feeling. Okay, rose sprig. I have another travel size. You know what? The color on this rose sprig bottle is absolutely fabulous. I think the color is fucking fabulous. I'm gonna put a photo of the bottle here, and I have the travel size here. Rose Prick, great travel sizes, from Tom Ford. Rose Prick, I'm gonna be, okay, let's put it this way. This is a Chypre fragrance. Alright? This is a Chypre. There is a patchouli note down at the base of this fragrance, but it gives me also that metallic chypre vibe with kind of a little vanilla-ish, kind of maybe tonka bean feeling. But the opening, the thing that I'm smelling before it gets to the base notes is spicy opening here. Fragrantica says it's turmeric. I don't know the scent of turmeric per se, but I know that there's that spicy, kitchen food cooking feeling at the top of this fragrance, which is actually quite refreshing. It just like intrigues you, and you just want to be like, wait a second, what is this? Let's just smell more of this fragrance. And when it comes to the core of this fragrance, this is roses. Roses, like, in capital letters. which is great because Tom Ford apparently loves roses. He has a rose garden. And then Rose Prick is another fragrance who is referring to the fact that, when you lose your virginity, you might be bleeding. Actually, this is what he's referring to with this. This is the allusion here. Um, I love this fragrance. 4 to 6 hour longevity, nice fragrance. I think this is well thought out. This is really well made. American Perfumery by Tom Ford, because this is, why am I getting Chypre feeling from this fragrance? I don't know. The patchouli is not like here Angel Muse older formulation patchouli. Let me see what Fragrantica says here. Let's just do it. Wait a second. Rose Prick. Rose Prick. The bottle is great. Rose warm spicy. I think that's warm spicy feeling we get at the opening is the turmeric or like whatever spices. Oh, Sichuan pepper. Yeah. I can't really differentiate the core is rose. That I get it. Base patchouli and tonka bean. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I cannot really differentiate the notes. I don't think this smells like Portrait of a Lady. Does it smell like Portrait of a Lady? That's what the Fragrantica says. No, I don't believe that. Oh, I see. Like, there is some vibe that we get from Nina Ricci Roses, Rose Extase, whatever. That I understand, but no. Yeah. Oh my god. Fragrantica says that this smells like Roger's A Goodnight Kiss. I have that fragrance. I have a video on that fragrance. This smells nothing like Roger's A Goodnight Kiss. These people have lost their noses. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad of a release at all. It is just too expensive, but if you fell in love with the color of the bottle, and if you like rose fragrances, and longevity 4 to 6 hours, and if you are looking for a fragrance, I think this can be worn 24/7, 365, but this is mainly, maybe fall, winter, nighttime fragrance. You can go with this one. So the question is, what am I going to do? I'm not going to get full bottle of either, but, hypothetically, if you take me to the store right now, holding my hand and ask me to pick a gift for myself, I think I might go with Rose d'Amalfi. I'm such a sucker for gourmand scents. I'm such a sucker for, floral, fruity, gourmand feelings. But I think, more objectively, this would be a better purchase, Rose Prick, but I don't know. I like these two. Okay, so let me take a sip and let's wrap things up. We have talked about 10 Tom Ford fragrances, that private line, that higher segment, more expensive, and we threw in, some recent releases that are not that expensive because Ébène Fumé, Rose de Russie, Rose de Chine, and Rose d'Amalfi, they're not that expensive. They are like, I think they retail at $270 on Sephora's website, but I just want to give you a rundown so when you see them, you have an idea. And if you have made it so far, we are 37, almost 38 minutes in this video, and the summer is around the corner. Spring here, the warmer weather, and I have a video on the channel where I talked about spring and summer designer fragrances, and in that video I talked about Soleil Brûlant. That is a tropical scent. But today, now that you have been watching for almost like 40 minutes, I also would like to recommend actually for the upcoming months Soleil Neige by Tom Ford. This is a great spring summer scent in my opinion as well. This is a fresh fragrance. This is a clean smelling fragrance, but there is an edge to it. There is that sharpness, metal sharpness to it. So the way that I'm going to describe this fragrance is as follows. Before you go to work in the morning, you run your washing machine. Okay, and then that day you go on a date after work. You're not really coming back home directly after work, and then when you get home it's like 10 p.m. 11 p.m. and you realize that, oh my god, I ran the washing machine and the clean wet clothing is in the machine right now. Let me open the door and smell. Okay, that smell, it does not smell bad. It smells cold, it smells wet, but there is a very little kind of like the mildew, moldy feeling to that. That makes it very interesting actually. You know, it's clean, it's cold, it's like wet, soaking wet, but it's also a little like a moldy feeling to it. I think that feeling you get from this fragrance, and I'm here for that. And I'm here for that because this is like a baby vibes on steroids. This is like, you know, clean, wet, uh, like underwear that is gonna go to like Tumblr. I love this. I think they did a good job with this one. And this is actually pretty innocuous, pretty office wear friendly, pretty summer, you know. No one will be like, oh my god, this is so heavy, too overwhelming, or this is like, you know, migraine triggering. No, it's not like that. And the performance is like 4 to 6 hours, but it's not really, you know, like grabbing you, or it's not like, you know, hitting you on the nose. So people will be okay with this. And I have this, yeah, I've been spraying this travel bottle because I told you, like, you know, next 3 months, like the summer months, I'm gonna be playing with these travel sizes because I have reduced my collection significantly prior to moving San Francisco, and I don't want to be like going through my Roja bottles like crazy and then having them, you know, almost go down below, like, you know, 1/3. Okay, so I don't know, I still spray them a lot, but I bought these like travel sizes which are pretty cute, very sturdy, very travel friendly from Sephora's website, and I'm gonna be using them this summer, and I think I'm gonna smell okay. I'm gonna smell good. Thank you, Tom Ford. But you know, rarely, very few of them like really worth the full bottle. You just have to test them and then see how you feel. My favorite, all-time favorite, is still Santal Blush, and also Tuberose New has grown on me so significantly ever since I tried that fragrance. All right, we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate that. You know, every time my English videos gets viewed on YouTube, I feel so happy about it because I feel like I'm not talking to like to walls around me, and I appreciate you for doing that. Please leave a comment. Please show your support by subscribing or activating the notification bell. If you're done with the other fragrance channels, heteronormative, toxic, masculine, straight guys or girls telling you that, you know, spray this fragrance and then your partner is gonna come so quickly. No, he's not gonna come so quickly. This is your channel here, and if you are a gay ally, hi, hello, please show your support as well. And I think I'm gonna be uploading videos every 2 weeks because now I have a more serious job here at a biotech in South San Francisco who is paying the bills actually. So my schedule is like, you know, tighter than ever actually. So I'm still replying to all the comments on YouTube. I'm reading them, but I'm maybe a little behind, you know, more slower than usual. All right. I will see you at the next one. Take care, everyone.